UberEATS, Postmates, DoorDash, Caviar, they're all super convenient. But is there an unintended social consequence to using these services? Hey everyone, this is Kevin the Apptrepreneur, and we talk about the convenience of food delivery apps all the time. And of course, we also talk about how little they pay the driver. So anyone who's not a driver out there, please, first thing to take away from this, if you use the services, tip. However, we are going to take another look at these services for the person ordering who they may not think about this thing. And that is that, ordering Uber Eats is, of course, easy and convenient. However, it can lead to overspending in isolation. This is from Tennessean.com. So, as more and more millennials and young professionals use restaurant delivery services, experts say there are pitfalls to the convenience that can include addiction. CMA Awards Week is a whirlwind for 27-year-old Music Row publicist Taylor Owen. Quote, the emails never stop, the events and parties never stop, and often they don't have food, just lots of alcohol. And I'm exhausted and hungry when I get home. So Owen calls Postmates delivery service to bring her favorite shrimp appetizer, it's the best, from upscale restaurant Virago, which is only a 12-minute walk from her place and probably an even shorter drive. Then there's the staff at the White Bridge Road doctor's office that has lunch delivered nearly every day from restaurants that are practically next door. Quote, I mean, it's a short walk, but then I have to go down elevator and walk across the parking lot, said 21-year-old nephrology associate's office, Leah Jones. And right now, it's scorching hot outside, you know. And if these quotes seem particularly juvenile, particularly, blondish, if you will, like high school blonde, like, oh my God, Becky, like, if I had to go work, I'd chip my nails and everything. Yeah, I sympathize. I know it probably sounds like a stereotype for millennials, and yet it's true. And just to let you know, I'll be sharing my own story with Postmates at the end. Something I haven't really admitted yet. So, delivery services like Grubhub, DoorDash, Uber Eats, and Postmates are growing rapidly in the U.S.'s competitive $17 billion online food delivery market. The platforms would release numbers for Nashville area. But Uber Eats had $7.9 billion in total food sales in 2018, according to the company filings. And, like its competitors, its revenue is rising quickly. The company had a 31% bump in the first quarter of 2019 compared to that period of 2018. Grubhub enjoyed a 39% year-over-year boost in the first 3 months of 2019, posting revenues of $324 million. In 2018, Grubhub had $5.1 billion in total food sales. Uber Eats has offices around the world, while Grubhub operates only in the U.S. Grubhub said its most popular restaurants in Nashville are mostly local comfort food options. La Vera Pizza on Charlotte Pike, Taza Cafe in Hendersonville, and Tower Market and Deli in East Nashville. I obviously haven't been to any of these places because I don't live in Tennessee, but they sound pretty good. And here's the first point. Ordering food online can be addictive. Those restaurants, like all participating eateries across town, are increasingly urged to shift their traditional business models to accommodate more and more online orders for convenience-hungry customers. But there can be too much of a good thing. The accessibility of so many at-your-fingertip meal options comes with psychological and personal finance pitfalls, experts say. It can even become an addiction. Quote, when it comes to internet addiction, necessity is not the mother of invention. Convenience is, said David Greenfield, founder of the Center for Internet and Technology Addiction. When you find something desirable online, there is a small blip of dopamine released in your brain, and that increases the likelihood you're going to do that behavior again. It's addictive, said Greenfield, also an assistant clinical professor of psychiatry at the University of Connecticut. So this isn't just some random person. For many, the draw of a tasty dinner a few clicks away can lead to a painful drain on their bank accounts. Food delivery service increases the cost of menu items and charge delivery fees on top of that, although there is one more cost, which I will, again, talk about my personal experiences in a few minutes. Customers also usually pay a tip to drivers. Well, when you order a lot, you tend to not. I suggest you do, though. Tennessee newsroom staffer Dustin Barnes, 35, often pays Uber Eats $10 to deliver about $3.50 worth of fast food to his apartment from McDonald's that's about 80 yards away. Quote, I feel guilty, Barnes said, adding he can rack about $500 a month in food delivery charges. I spend too much. And here's the second problem: avoiding others. Music Row publicist Owen also thinks she spends too much on restaurant food delivery, which she uses an average of 3 times a week. I get that credit card statement. I'm so ashamed. You're like, I literally could have bought a flight to Switzerland. For younger generations, though, the convenience is often worth the cost. Millennials don't like cooking before Postmates was a thing. Didn't like cooking before Postmates was a thing, said Kelly Goldsmith, associate professor of marketing at Vanderbilt University. Now that they've got some money in their pocket, it's no surprise they're not cooking. People are placing a higher premium on their time and convenience. And I'm going to actually take a moment to break here and share a story from someone else I know, who I will not name. If they're watching, by any chance they're watching, don't dislike you. I love you. Please keep that in mind. However, this person who I've worked with before, typically for at least a while, I haven't seen them doing it recently, was having Postmates deliver their food every single day. And we were given a 45-minute lunch break. And I asked, why don't you just go pick up some food? The Subway is a block down the road. The McDonald's, 2 blocks. Jack in the Box, 3. And heck, the Wiener Schnitzel and the Chick-fil-A, you go down the other way, they're 2 blocks away. There's a local diner. And the Wendy's is literally across the street. And there's even some vegan options nearby, less than 6 blocks away. We were literally in a place where you could pretty much walk to a restaurant, spend 20 minutes eating, walk back, and still have 10 minutes of time for your lunch break. And the response was, well, my time is valuable. Even though, again, and I love you, please don't take this the wrong way if you happen to be watching this. You're not doing anything except messing around on your phone. You just aren't. So, for someone who values their time, you're not using it very wisely. And all you're doing is racking up money. But that's the mentality. It's like, time is valuable. And it's like, I agree. However, if you're going to save that time, you should probably use that time as well. So, there's a fallacy there. The vast majority of Grubhub food deliveries are to homes, according to the company's survey. Single parents, busy professionals, and other demographics bring a built-in demand for such services, said Ernest Baskin, assistant professor of food marketing at St. Joseph's University. That comes with a growing tendency to avoid other people, he said. Now consumers have a definite preference for getting the human out of the equation as much as possible. People would much prefer to click a few buttons rather than go up to a human and make an order. And that can be dangerous. And as someone who is socially handicapped, literally, like it's medically proven, I am socially handicapped. We are social creatures and thrive in a social matrix. We do not do well when isolated. Experts recommended being alert to the drawbacks from decreased social life to a diminished bank account. The first question I would say is this: is it impacting my ability to live a quality life in other ways? Am I spending money I don't have? Sometimes that answer is no, he added. If I have discretionary income to do it, then it's a matter of values in terms of how I spend my money. Just because it's new technology doesn't mean it's bad. And yeah, it's not bad. In fact, now, and it just went white. Unfortunately, this is the best photo I can think of to use for this example right now. I'm going to share my personal Postmates addiction story. And I've kind of hidden this from the viewers because I was kind of embarrassed about it. However, one day I decided I wanted to send Katie flowers. Like, there was no particular reason. We did not have a fight. It wasn't an anniversary. I wasn't asking for a favor. I felt like there's no reason to give her flowers. And by the way, I hate buying flowers because I think flowers are, for the most part, a waste of money. They die quickly, they're pretty for a couple days, and they're expensive. I don't like buying flowers. So because there was no reason to give her flowers, I decided I wanted to get her flowers. And I wanted to up my game. I wanted to be so unexpected. I was going to have the flowers delivered to where she worked. And I decided to use Postmates. Now, at the checkout, the delivery fee was going to be $11, but you know what? Fine. I'm spending $60 already on flowers. At $11, whatever. However, they said, try Postmates Unlimited for 30 days, and the delivery's free. So I signed up for Postmates Unlimited for 30 days. I left like a $6 tip. Or was it $8? I think it was $8, actually, now that I think about it. And I delivered the flowers. Now I have this thing for an additional 30 days. And Postmates has this party feature where if the party is trending, you are saving on the delivery fee quite a bit. So the next day, I saw what was partying for lunch, and I bought some food. And as a Postmates Unlimited service, the one little fee you would normally pay, you don't pay. So I started buying more and more food for lunch and dinner because in my mind, I'm saving the money. Then I forget to cancel, and I get charged $10. Well, now I've got to buy more food to justify spending that money. And before I knew it, I was finding myself into old eating habits I had worked so hard to get away from. I was buying a lot of Popeyes, particularly their chicken strips. I was getting, the double quarter pounder kings from Burger King. There were some Asian places that, I did buy salmon a couple days, but they were really small because, people really skimp on the fish, it seems. So I was spending more money than I had. And granted, I didn't go bankrupt. You didn't hear me about struggling about money recently because I make pretty good money, actually. However, I don't need to be spending $400 a month on food. I just don't need to be doing that. And I was eating worse because the stuff that's trending is never really healthy. And so I realized that even though I was technically saving a lot of money on the Postmates Unlimited on delivery fees and their, all that jazz, I realized it was a bad influence. I was eating poorly again, and I was spending money I didn't need to spend. And there's a gardener, if you can hear that. So I decided to cancel the Postmates Unlimited app because I will definitely think twice about having food delivered if I have to pay a delivery fee. It's annoying, however, I value money enough that as long as I'm paying it, because most of the stuff that I would get delivered was like $10, and if I'm paying an extra 50% just to have it delivered, then I will definitely think twice about that. And people fall into that trap. Some people don't even think about that, though. And this is one of the downsides. I was actually on another channel fairly recently. We were talking about cell phone addiction, and this is a contributor of cell phone addiction. And I think cell phones lead to addictions in other ways. So I don't want to judge you if you Postmates and DoorDash a lot. Heck, especially if you are the owner of a company and you want to cater fairly frequently. Postmates and DoorDash are godsends. They will deliver a lot of food for very little money in the grand scheme of things. Please tip the driver if you do that. However, this article, and it's a shame that this is just a local newspaper article or website, because I think this really should be talked about on a more national level, is definitely shining a light on a huge, huge problem. And it's a problem that's not going to go away anytime soon. So we need to start dealing with it. We need to start talking about it. And if you like doing Postmates and DoorDash and stuff, hey, again, I'm not saying you're in the wrong. I'm not saying you shouldn't. You seriously might want to be careful how much you're doing it. You could spend a lot of money that you don't need to spend. You could be eating a lot of food that's really bad for you that you shouldn't be eating. And food is more fun because it's social. You get to talk to people over a meal. In fact, I remember I was reading Penn Jillette's book about how he lost all that weight, Penn from Penn and Teller. And one of the ways that he justified changing his eating habits is because he realized the fun he had out of eating wasn't from the food, but the people he was eating the food with. And as he said, I'm probably never going to be having those steaks with Bob Dylan again. I'm never going to be having Italian food with Oliver Stone again. So, therefore, I can eat new food and I can create new memories with food. And by the way, Mom's cookies have never tasted the same since, Mom stopped making them. So anyway, that's a little bit more of a editorialized video for you. Now I pass the question off to you. What do you think? You agree with this article? Have you had your own personal addictions with Postmates or DoorDash, particularly Postmates, because Postmates has that unlimited thing, and boy, it's very easy to lose track of the money and calories you're eating. Just to let you know, I am eating better again. I am now forcing myself to eat more greens and scaling back, and I've even moved from Coke and Pepsi to the Coke Life again. So in the last week, I've lost a couple pounds, and hopefully I will lose 15 more by the wedding day. But I'd love to know any of your stories. Comment below, like, favorite, share, subscribe. If you enjoy my videos, consider becoming a Patreon member. It's totally optional, of course, but even as little as $1 a month goes a long way to helping the channel run smoothly. You get access to my Patreon's exclusive blog. And If gas prices are getting you a little down, check out the Get Upside app below. It's totally free, but you get cash back on every gas purchase. If you like my content, consider subscribing to the Apptrepreneur Vlogs channel. It's different from what we do here. However, I think you might enjoy it. And if you want to talk to me or other fellow people who do Postmates or DoorDash, check us out at the Apptrepreneur Hangouts on Facebook. And as always, flame responsibly. Have a good one.